She was the one girl no one dared to mess with. Her looks might be ordinary, but she had 3 stunningly handsome brothers. The eldest, Kim Han-young, was the charming senior everyone looked up to. The second brother, Kim De-young, was the perfect mix of brains and looks, the student council president everyone adored. The youngest, Kim Se-young, was the tall athletic type, the kind every girl secretly dreamed of. Together, the 3 were the most popular guys in school. But to Haiju they were nothing short of demons. When she was little, she cried after being bullied by kids her age. The very next day those bullies were kneeling in front of her, begging for mercy. They even pleaded with her to tell her brothers to stop. They were too terrified to go back to school. From that moment, Haiju was branded the park bully, and she went through middle school without making a single friend. Ever since she could remember, her brothers had brought her nothing but misery. The eldest thought the world was too dangerous, so he literally tied a rope to her after school, turning her into a walking joke. Back home, her second brother forced her to study, mocking her every mistake like it was a personal insult. And whenever she tried to relax on the swings, her athletic brother would help by spinning her in place 300 times. After more than 10 years of torment from her 3 demon brothers, Haiju finally learned one thing. Getting close to good-looking people only brings bad luck. So she not only rejected every club invitation from handsome guys, but also made a pact with her brothers to keep their distance at school. One day, during the freshman cleanup, Haiju was assigned to clean the windows. She planned to use this chance to make friends with the girl next to her. Unfortunately, her brother happened to pass by and saw her sitting on the window ledge. Just as she was about to ask the girl to help her wash the cloths, her oldest brother suddenly lifted her down from the ledge in one swoop. In the arms of the school's top heartthrob, Haiju didn't feel happy at all. She grabbed his collar and whispered furiously, "What the hell are you doing?" Sure enough, a second later she could feel the burning hostility of every girl around. Before she could even escape the awkward stares, she turned and saw her second brother, the student council president, handing out cleaning tools. Frustrated, she thought, "Great, another landmine," and tried to sneak away in the other direction. But her cunning second brother blocked her in front of everyone. He stepped on her dirty rag without hesitation and whispered coldly, "You're not planning to use this stinky rag to clean the student council windows, are you?" Then, with a sudden change of tone, he handed her a clean one, smiling softly. "Do your best, okay?" The younger girls who saw it all squealed about how sweet and gentle the senior was, while Haiju cursed her second brother 300 times in her head. But her streak of bad luck wasn't over yet. Around the corner, an old janitor called out and asked her to take out the trash. Even though she explained that it wasn't her job, the old man just wouldn't listen. With no choice, Haiju trudged forward, dragging 4 huge garbage bags. Just then she saw her third brother, Kim Se-young, walking straight toward her. Terrified, she immediately executed a U-turn like a battleship. From afar, Se-young saw her half buried behind the trash bags. He wanted to laugh but remembered her warning and stayed away. Yet when the crowd began to gather and whisper, he couldn't hold back his grin and walked off with his friends. Haiju, however, blamed everything on him, grinding her teeth in fury. Se-young misread her trembling as silent crying. In the end, he couldn't help but step forward to comfort her. Only when he saw the cold, annoyed look on her face did he realize he'd completely misread the situation and awkwardly walked away. The next day, rumors spread across the school. Haiju was flirting with all 3 campus heartthrobs. Furious, she swore to make those unreliable brothers pay. Early the next morning, she went to a convenience store to buy some special ingredients. Then she sneaked into someone's yard and stole a bit of fresh dog poop. Carefully, she smeared it all over her eldest brother's shoes, then followed him, waiting for the big moment. Little did she know, her brother had already noticed something suspicious about her. Along the way, her brother's fangirls and even stray cats caught a whiff of the stench and instinctively assumed it couldn't possibly come from him. In the end, Haiju was the one who got hit by the angry girls instead. Later, she tried spiking her second brother's afternoon tea, only for him to kindly hand it to a hardworking junior. The poor junior smiled, thinking, "Wow, the president is so kind." A second later, he spat it all out, gagging from the taste. Grabbing a nearby piece of bread to neutralize it, he froze when strange sauce started oozing out of it. Meanwhile, her second brother leaned on his hand, staring out the window, and calmly asked the fleeing Haiju what exactly she had done in his office. Left with no other target, Haiju went after the easiest one, her third brother, and threw a rock at his back, determined to end their sibling bond. Unfortunately, his friend took the hit square on the head. Everyone assumed it was karma for a guy that ugly confessing to a girl, so no one noticed the second rock. This time, Haiju waited until her third brother was alone. But as if by some psychic sense, he suddenly got excited, started cooing at some birds, and accidentally dodged it again. Frustrated beyond belief, Haiju swore she'd find a crueler way to get revenge next time. A few days later came her least favorite day of the year, Valentine's Day. Her oldest and youngest brothers both hated chocolate. One said it tasted weird. The other insisted it was bad for health. Her second brother liked it, but only if the ingredients were top tier. So every Valentine's Day, Haiju was forced to deliver chocolates on behalf of other girls, because no one could refuse a gift from his sister. Fortunately, this year she had just entered high school. Their family ties weren't public yet, and for once she had someone she actually wanted to give chocolate to. But right then, the homeroom teacher blurted out her secret in front of everyone. Haiju, with 3 such outstanding brothers, you must love coming to school. Haiju wanted to dig a hole and disappear. As expected, the girls around her instantly gave her hungry looks, each hoping she'd do them a little favor. In the end, the overly friendly classmates cornered her into a storage room. She had written her love letter at 4 in the morning, and with only 30 minutes left before meeting her crush, she decided to hide there until the time came. But her stomach growled loudly, completely giving away her position. With no way out, Haiju could only accept her fate. Meanwhile, under the school's pavilion, a handsome boy had already been waiting for quite a while. Just as he began to think she wouldn't come, Haiju came running up, breathless. Holding out the chocolate she'd carefully prepared, she confessed, "I've liked you since that day. Please, accept this." The boy's heart raced. So she feels the same way after all. But right before he could take it, a chubby guy suddenly appeared and snatched the chocolate. With a smug grin, he said, "Looks like I've captured another girl's heart. I'll gladly accept your feelings." Seeing the excited look still on Haiju's face, the boy froze like a statue. That moment became the most humiliating one of his life. He even suspected Haiju did it on purpose. After all, the first time they met, she clearly wanted nothing to do with him. His name was Dwan. Because of his looks, girls constantly flocked around him, something that only made him tired. One rainy day, Haiju saw him surrounded by fangirls and immediately activated her handsome guy radar, warning herself to stay far away. But she tripped over someone passing by and, fearing another public embarrassment, decided to roll on the ground and flee, only to smack her head right into a rock. Just as Haiju was relieved that no one had noticed her, Dwan suddenly appeared in front of everyone, holding an umbrella over her and asking if she was hurt. Furious, Haiju grabbed him by the collar and warned him to stay far, far away. Ironically, that very attitude, so different from the other girls, was exactly what made Dwan fall for her. The funny part, there were actually 2 Dwans at school. The one Haiju liked was the chubby, plain-looking one who never stood out. But every time she heard someone call that name, she'd look up in hope, only to see the handsome Dwan again. To make things worse, he was friends with her third brother, which made her dislike him even more. On Valentine's Day, chubby Dwan was so excited after receiving a love letter that he accidentally dropped it, and a classmate picked it up. After seeing the name Dwan, the classmate assumed it was meant for the handsome one, leading to the entire Valentine's Day misunderstanding. Meanwhile, after transferring schools, Sung-hee found a new reason to wake up early, attending senior Kim Han-young's club activities. That day, Han-young was called in by a teacher. "Han-young, it's a shame, but if you don't want the gardening club to be shut down, you'll need at least 3 members. Strange though," the teacher added. "You didn't have so few members before." It turned out the eldest brother had written down all his family's names just to fill the quota. The teacher glanced at the list, smiled faintly and tossed it straight into the trash. Later that morning, Sung-hee arrived at the gardening club. She found it odd that the club started as early as 6 a.m., but for someone with social anxiety, a quiet club was perfect. Just as she raised her hand to knock, she froze, remembering what the boys had said. The club president was a delinquent who'd been held back a year. Thinking about it, Sung-hee started trembling all over, imagining her miserable future under a delinquent club president. Suddenly, the door creaked open, She froze, trembling even harder as her club application slipped from her hands. The senior picked it up, then tore it to pieces. With a faint smile, Kim Han-young said, "Congratulations, you're accepted." And just like that, Sung-hee became a member of the gardening club. At first, she didn't expect much. Just being closer to her senior felt like enough material for her diary. But as time passed, she realized something. Aside from his good looks, there were barely any real club activities. Everything was completely different from what she imagined. Thankfully, the senior wasn't the delinquent everyone talked about. He was just the type who didn't care about anything around him. He even seemed to have forgotten Sung-hee was part of the club, but she still enjoyed being there. One day, standing behind him, she noticed something shiny reflecting off his bag. Looking closer, she realized there was something glowing inside it. For the next few days, she couldn't stop thinking about it. She didn't know what it was, but she was determined to find out. Meanwhile, on her way home, Haiju suddenly felt something fall beside her. Looking down, she realized it was her brother's belonging. And just the thought of that anime-obsessed guy made her blood boil. The scene then shifted to her second brother, Kim Do-young, sitting on the steps reading. Suddenly, a nervous student called out to him. The boy rushed over, looking miserable. "I really can't do this. I'm sorry that it's my fault. I'm useless." Do-young paused for a moment, then replied calmly, "It's fine. Leave it there, that I'll handle it." Then, without missing a beat, he added, "You're Lee Moonung from class 5 year 2, right?" The boy's eyes sparkled. "You even know my name, President? I'm honored." After the boy left, Do-young's eyes turned sharp, cold enough to kill a cow. The so-called kind, all-powerful student council president was actually a two-faced schemer. Anyone who messed up ended up recorded in his secret little notebook. Suddenly, someone shouted, "Isn't that the PE teacher from year 2? The teacher came running in a panic, yelling, "Kim Dong, help me." He hid behind Do-young, trembling. Turns out he was terrified of dogs. But Do-young looked perfectly calm when he saw the barking dog. "Sit," he said flatly. The dog froze for a second, then obediently sat down. Moments later, it started barking again. Do-young sighed quietly, his tone colder this time. "Sit." The dog shivered at the chill in his voice and instantly dropped to the ground, silent. With a flick of his hand, Do-young tossed something aside to distract it, and the dog trotted away. The teacher let out a relieved sigh. "Thank you, Do-young. Honestly, I can't even handle a dog. What kind of teacher am I?" He shook his head, still embarrassed. Then his expression changed as he yelled, "Wait, who brought that dog to school? It was you, wasn't it?" Do-young smiled faintly. Even dog owners need to be leashed. Later, a student came to him for help fixing a computer. Do-young explained the steps. The student blushed. Without hesitation, Do-young added another name to his notebook. Two girls screamed when they found a snake, and after Do-young calmly helped them, their names went into the notebook too. Of course, these were just a few of the many people he'd helped. And every single one of them ended up on that list. Glancing down at the page full of names, Do-young closed it with irritation, thinking, at this rate, is there anyone left in this school who's actually worth my time? Right after the president helped catch the snake, another argument broke out on the field, over something completely trivial. Just as the two girls started fighting, Kim Do-young appeared silently right behind them. Though he'd been caught in the middle, sweat trickling down his face. When he turned around, that flawless smile of his was still there. Fighting here will only set a bad example for the other students, you know? The two girls instantly burst into tears and hugged each other in guilt. But in truth, Haija's second brother had already added both their names to his secret mental notebook. 20 minutes left until the next student council meeting. "Bayan Sarah, stop eating snacks and finish this report first." Do-young sighed to himself. "Why does chaos always follow me? It must be because I'm just too good at everything. Only I can fix every problem, because I'm perfect. Now then, surely no one else will interrupt my break." He adjusted his glasses with a faint smile. "If anyone does, I'll make them my next target." Suddenly, the door to the president's office burst open. Kim Seong stormed in, eyes blazing. "I've waited for this day. Fight me." The room instantly filled with awkward silence. Do-young just smiled calmly, uncapping his pen. Then without a word, he wrote one name in his notebook. Kim Seong. Seong froze on the spot. His brother's gentle smile suddenly looked terrifying. Then came the throat-slitting hand gesture. Wrong room. Seong yelped, slamming the door shut and bolting away. The president exchanged a glance with Bayan Sarah. What a lunatic, she thought. Out on the school track, the baseball team still had 15 laps to finish practice. Just as everyone settled into their rhythm, Seong grinned. From now on, it's a race. First place is mine. He ignored everyone's protests and went all in for the win. The result? Everyone except him was ordered to run 10 more laps. How can you say something so cruel? Did you ask our legs first? Someone snapped. We're the tailenders. There's no comparing us to someone with a sculpted athlete's body and elite reflexes. The coach scowled. That kid's always screwing around. Didn't you know he comes to run 30 minutes early? Seong doesn't read the room. He's a disgrace to the baseball team. Get him out, another player grumbled. But for Seong, second place was the same as failure. The track looked calm, yet the distant cheers from the stands shattered the quiet. Those voices only fueled Seong more. 10 extra laps. Easy. After practice, he was swarmed by fangirls. Seong, you're so handsome when you're playing. They gushed. Suddenly, a memory flashed. Him playing ball with his eldest brother. He called after Han Yong. Where are you going? Back to dig in the garden. Don't. Come play baseball with me. But Han Yong showed no interest. Whoever did that to me, if I find them, I'll deal with them, Han Yong said coldly. At those words, Seong bolted. He didn't know the full story, but it wasn't out of fear that he ran. Trying to avoid Han Yong, Seong accidentally wandered into the student council room. He stopped and stared at the plaque by the door, lost in thought. Change clothes fast, recite a month's lunch menu, find a 4-leaf clover quickly. Up until today, this record is 118 wins out of 118. Okay, you don't have to list every single thing. This time we'll see who can throw the ball fastest. I won't lose. To be precise, I've already spent 11 minutes and 39 seconds playing your game. As of today, I've wasted 76 hours, 9 minutes and 56 seconds just messing around with you. Seong gave no answer. Yeong smiled slightly. I'm saying, if you don't leave now, you're done for. Seong wasn't afraid of dying. Giving up because of fear wasn't his style. Besides, today's relay games were kind of fun. He shoved open the student council door in a flash. Then he shouted, "Fight me!" Yeong calmly clicked his pen. The soft click of the pen somehow struck a chord in Seong. He slammed the door shut and stammered, "Sorry, wrong room." Seong bolted out onto the field and started sprinting. I won't back down. I'll beat that Death Note book, he thought. 2 passing students watched in stunned silence. What is she even doing? Someone whispered. No one really knew what Haiju was up to, but from the way she looked, everyone assumed she must be Seong's sister. Haiju thought to herself, wasn't his practice supposed to be over? Why is he still out there? I should go back. If I get spotted, I'm doomed. Of all things, a classmate suddenly shouted, "Seong, your sister is here." In a flash, Seong appeared behind Haiju. "Haiju Kim, fight me," he shouted. Poor Haiju, she never escaped her brother's madness. "If you can even touch the ball, you win. But that's impossible," Seong declared confidently. Haiju glared back. "Lose to you? Not a chance, just shut up and throw already." A cold light flashed in Seong's eyes. The baseball shot out of his hand, slicing through the air. "Haiju, watch out," his teammates yelled in panic. But just when everyone thought he'd gone too far, bang. Haiju smacked the ball away with lightning reflexes. The watching students froze, jaws dropping. Haiju brushed off her hands and turned to leave. "Don't get cocky," Seong shouted. "I let you win this time." Haiju turned, face cold. "What's your problem? You talk too much for a loser. You look pathetic, Seong." Seong suddenly turned his back and started crying. Still, his pride wouldn't let him admit it. "I'm not crying. I'll never give up. Next time I'm winning." A few days later, the teacher announced a group project. Something that felt like pure torture for the friendless Haiju. Luckily, the groups were assigned and she ended up with 3 ordinary friendly girls. Hoping to finally bond with them, Haiju invited the trio to her house that weekend to work on the project. Just to be safe, she checked her brother's weekend schedules. Her second brother would be studying at the library. Her third brother had baseball practice. The eldest hadn't said what he was doing, but it seemed he'd be busy too. Just as the girls were getting along and ready to start working, Thunder cracked outside and heavy rain began to pour. Haiju instantly felt a bad omen. She grabbed her phone and called her third brother in a panic. 1 second later, he appeared at the door, completely drenched. Her classmates froze on the spot. But Seong didn't notice anything strange. He casually sat down and said, "I took this class before. Let me help you with your homework." A long moment passed before Haiju realized. Her classmates were literally too scared to breathe. Meanwhile, she scrambled to fix the situation. "Why did you come back now?" she snapped. "Don't tell me you got scared of the lightning and quit training. You call yourself a baseball player?" Triggered by her words, Seong grabbed his bag and stormed out again. "I'll show you what professional spirit looks like," he yelled before slamming the door. The moment he left, Haiju locked the door behind him, thinking proudly, "Now the other two idiots can't get in either." She went back to her room, feeling relieved, only to find her eldest brother sitting in front of her classmates, tears streaming down his face. When he saw her, he silently handed her his phone. On the screen was a video of an injured stray cat. Turns out he'd been so heartbroken watching it that he forgot to go out altogether. At that moment, all Haiju could think about was finishing the group project. She snapped at her brother, Han Yong. "Is that video really that important right now? Think about it. While you're sitting here watching videos, there are helpless animals out there in the thunderstorm waiting for you to rescue them." Her words immediately painted a vivid image in his mind. Soaked, trembling kittens crying for help in the rain. Without hesitation, he threw on his jacket and rushed out into the storm. Her plan had worked perfectly. Just as Haiju turned to lock the door, her second brother suddenly appeared. His face was filled with fury. The library's power had gone out. Someone had spilled a drink all over him, and a passing bus had splashed him head to toe with muddy water. Without a word to Haiju, he stormed straight into the living room. She wanted to stop him, but then it hit her. His current drenched, messy state was a far cry from his usual perfect gentleman act. Maybe, just maybe, her classmates would finally see how fake he really was. But that extreme contrast completely broke her classmates. Not only did the project fall apart, the three girls never dared talk to her again. Haiju didn't give up. She decided to start fresh through a club activity. First, she eliminated the student council, her second brother's domain. Then the baseball team, her third brother's territory. And of course the gardening club, her eldest brother's pride and joy. After thinking it over, the manga club seemed perfect. Quiet, relaxed, full of normal people. Best of all, the chubby senior she liked was in that club too. With renewed enthusiasm, Haiju set off to submit her application. But halfway down the hall, Jisoo called out to her. "Don't shout my name in public." Haiju hissed in embarrassment. Jisoo blinked. "Wait, are you still trying to live like a hermit? Everyone in school already knows you're their sister." She then tried to recruit Haiju. "Join the marathon club with me. Gotta keep up stamina if you want to chase idols." To sweeten the deal, Jisoo even brought a stack of limited edition photo cards. But just then she bumped into a boy, sending the photos flying. One landed under his shoe with a painful crunch. "Hey, watch where you're going." Jisoo snapped, immediately picking a fight. Taking advantage of the chaos, Haiju quietly slipped away. Jisoo was one of the most popular girls in school, and the last thing Haiju wanted was to draw more attention to herself. Still, when it came to disliking those three brothers, the two girls surprisingly saw eye to eye. Back in middle school, Haiju was often cornered by classmates begging for her brother's contact info. One day, she overheard Jisoo's friends teasing her. "So, which one of Haiju's brothers do you like best?" "None of them," Jisoo replied flatly. "Come on, at least tell us which one looks decent," they pressed. Jisoo thought for a moment before grinning. "Honestly, I think Haiju herself looks the best." Upstairs, Haiju froze. Her notebook slipped from her hands and scattered across the floor. And at that exact moment, Jisoo happened to look up, catching her in the act. As soon as they got back to class, Jisoo grabbed Haiju and forced her into a selfie. Haiju was silently hoping Jisoo would give up looking for her notebook. But the next second, Jisoo placed it neatly on her desk. Haiju thanked her, but Jisoo didn't leave. Instead, she pulled out her phone and cheerfully asked to exchange numbers. From that moment on, Haiju couldn't shake her off. When Haiju wanted a drink, Jisoo instantly handed her an ice-cold Coke. "I don't drink soda," Haiju said flatly. Jisoo just unzipped her backpack, revealing it was packed with every drink imaginable. Pick one. After Haiju washed her hands in the restroom, Jisoo was right there offering her a handkerchief. When Haiju forgot her gym uniform, Jisoo somehow had a spare set in her bag. On the bus ride home, Haiju was utterly drained. Why is she so obsessed with being my friend? I don't even care about idols. Worse still, with Jisoo constantly glued to her side, all her old acquaintances had stopped approaching her. Just as she was thinking about it, Jisoo appeared again, eagerly asking, "Hey, wanna go check out the new merch drop together?" That was the last straw. Haiju snapped. "I'm not gonna be friends with some obsessive fangirl like you. Acting pitiful won't help either. That I like quiet friends, and living a quiet life. Besides, you already have plenty of friends. Go hang out with them." Only then did Jisoo finally reveal the real reason she kept pestering Haiju. Her old idol fan friends had all quit the fandom, because of Haiju's brothers. So just like Haiju, she couldn't stand those three guys. And on top of that, she had her own 3 enemies, her little brothers. Hearing that, Haiju could somewhat understand how Jisoo felt. Still, she kept her distance. After all, that girl was a certified lunatic. Once she finally managed to shake Jisoo off, Haiju dragged herself all the way to the manga club room at last. Standing at the door of the manga club, Haiju took a deep breath. "This is it. I'm going to make friends. From now on, I'll enjoy club life, both friendship and love." But the moment she opened the door, she froze. Dwan looked up, his cheeks slightly flushed. "You really joined the manga club, Haiju Kim?" Just earlier, he'd shocked everyone in the singing club by insisting on transferring to the manga club, no matter what anyone said. No amount of begging or persuasion could stop him. When his friends asked why, his face just turned red and he avoided the question. Meanwhile, the club president called out to him. With a friendly smile, he said, "So, which club were you planning to join?" When he heard that Dwan wanted to join the manga club, he nodded. "Oh, I've always been curious about this place too. But let me make one thing clear," the president added proudly. "Our manga club isn't open to just anyone. That we use a strict test to find the true otakus." As for Dwan's real reason for joining, it was simple. Wherever that girl was, Haiju would be there too. The moment Haiju saw who it was, she slammed the door shut. From outside came a familiar voice. "Time to start the new member evaluation." Haiju hesitated, then slowly opened the door again. "Ah, Senior Dwan?" He immediately recognized her, the girl who had given him chocolates on Valentine's Day. For a moment, Dwan froze completely, his brain short-circuited. "Since you're all new here," he began stiffly, "you might not know, figure sketching is the foundation of manga drawing. So today's assignment is a sketch of Nana-chan. And of course, all completed works will belong to me." Haiju's inner voice. "Seriously, that's his way of fangirling. Fine, chase your idol all you want, but why do I have to draw that character?" Inside the manga club, Dwan had just given everyone their assignment. "I'll just sketch a bit and then check on Haiju," he thought. The members were still debating who could best draw Nana-chan, when suddenly, everyone's attention shifted in one direction. Haiju blushed under their collective gaze. But then she realized, they were all staring at Dwan's drawing. "Wait, you finished this in just 5 minutes. That's incredible. You passed. Didn't know you could draw this well. From now on, we'll count on you for 10 Nana-chan sketches a day." Dwan froze, mortified that if Haiju weren't sitting right next to me, I'd have bolted by now. Meanwhile, Haiju steeled herself. "For love, I'll swallow my pride." She stepped forward and held out her drawing. "I was wondering, how can I draw like you? Could you teach me?" Dwan blinked, then smiled softly. "You waited just to ask me that, didn't you? Of course, I can teach you. 7 days a week if you want. Are you free this weekend? I don't like noisy places though. The clubroom won't work. It's too loud." Haiju hesitated, then said quietly, "Then, how about my place?" She figured running into her brothers wouldn't be a problem anyway. The moment he heard that, Dwan's face flushed bright red. Dwan had dressed neatly and finally arrived at Haiju's house. "My room's over there," she said, pointing toward the hallway. Just as Dwan wondered if he should greet her family first, Haiju calmly added, "Pretend there's no one home. Let's just do what we need to do." Meanwhile, her 3 brothers in the living room were watching them suspiciously. Oblivious, Dwan focused intently on explaining facial proportions. 3 sections, 5 eyes. as if giving a serious art lesson. Then he suddenly said, "I'm gonna use the bathroom." As he stepped out, his heart was still pounding wildly. But then a low voice called out from behind him, "Your name's Vul, or Doohyun, was it? Mind if we have a quick chat?" Dwan was still a bit dazed until the next second his whole body froze. The man before him casually held a knife, muttering, "This thing's so dull, should have sharpened it first." Then with a calm smile he asked, "So what kind of fruit do you like?" Strawberries," Dwan replied instinctively. Deong smiled faintly. "What a shame that we don't have strawberries here. Just eat whatever I give you." Dwan tried to calm himself down. The senior's being so polite, he must be a nice guy. This is my chance to make a good impression. Blushing, he said, "Actually, I've always thought you were really cool. You're smart, kind, always smiling. I really respect you." But Deong suddenly slammed the table. "You like me that much? Then do you know what I like? Next time you come, bring me 3 things I like. If you can do that, I'll admit your feelings are genuine." He smirked. "Though I doubt you'll ever come back here. Let's just meet at school." Dwan stiffened, thinking, "Other than my face, I don't have anything worthy of Haiju at all." Just then the eldest brother appeared from the kitchen. "Wait, are there really no strawberries left? I want some." The second brother sighed and quietly handed him a plate. The moment Dwan saw the strawberries, his eyes welled up. "Take these to Haiju," Deong ordered coldly. Dwan stared at the plate, feeling utterly helpless. "No more mistakes," he told himself. "This time I'll prove I'm not useless." Taking a deep breath, he carried the strawberries straight toward Han-young. But the eldest brother spoke first. "Let's get this straight. I'm only accepting these strawberries because Deong gave them to me. Don't think that means I approve of you." Then without warning he stabbed at the strawberries wildly with his chopsticks. "Also, why'd you two close the door? How about you just stay in the living room, huh? Do whatever it is you're doing right here." Dwan trembled, his knees nearly giving out. Just then Kim Seong walked in. "Whoa, what's with this tension?" He blinked in confusion. "And, why are you in my house? You didn't come here for me, did you? I never gave you my address." Dwan stammered. "Oh, I came because of Haiju." "What did you just say?" Seong froze. Meanwhile, in her room, Haiju had already finished her 3rd drawing. "What's taking him so long?" she muttered. Back in the living room, Dwan tried to steady his voice. "I've been out here for a while. Haiju and I still have something left to finish, so I'll just..." All 3 brothers shouted in unison. "What? Something left to finish?" 3 deadly glares locked onto him at once. "No way that you're not going back in there." "Why, sir," Dwan whimpered near tears. Just then Haiju stormed out, glaring at her brothers. "So that's why he didn't come back, you 3 again. Senior, come in already. What are you guys doing?" She crossed her arms, voice sharp. "You're all acting like children. I'm warning you. If you interfere again, we're no longer family, we're enemies. Don't test me." She pulled Dwan behind her protectively. "Senior, let's continue to the next step." Kim Seong nearly lost it. Has Haiju lost her mind? Even if she's in love, she should know her limits. She just hopped in there saying let's move to the next step. What is she thinking? Meanwhile, the eldest brother was still staring at the strawberries. "That guy's shameless. But kind of decent. At least he gave me the strawberries. Better than some people here." Suddenly, Deong flashed into view. "What, you ate without me again, didn't you? So typical Kim Seong. If your brain's not working, then shut it. Be quiet," Deong snapped back coldly. He knocked on the door with his drink can. Inside, Haiju sighed and whispered to Dwan, "My brothers aren't quite right in the head." Dwan shook his head softly. "You should come to my house next time," he said. "It's quiet. No one's ever around. I've got tons of art materials that could really help you." Haiju thought for a moment that he's so good at drawing. I could learn a lot from him. But just as she said, "Okay," one of her brothers yanked her back. "He wants you to go to his house." "No way. Are you crazy? Tell him no, or better yet, tell him to get lost." "Haiju Kim, before you go anywhere, explain this to me. What's your relationship with Dwan? What were you two doing in that room? What's wrong with your dirty minds?" Haiju snapped. "Can't you think of something normal for once?" She took a deep breath, eyes firm. "I will go to my senior's house and you'd better not get in my way." Dwan had just gotten Haiju's phone number and was about to ask if she got hurt. Suddenly, a message popped up from an unknown number. It read, "Report to the student council room before next week." Signed by none other than the student council president, someone Dwan both admired and feared. Meanwhile, Haiju was planning to quietly study her manga lessons. But Jisoo suddenly ran up to her, dead serious. "Lend me 5 million won. I'll give you all my allowance. I swear I'll pay it back with interest before graduation." Haiju stared at her in disbelief. "Do I look like I have 5 million lying around? We have to earn our own pocket money that I barely make 3 to 500,000 a month. Why do you even need that much money anyway?" Turns out Jisoo had just joined the marathon club. Their entry test seemed simple. Run 2 laps and come back. Jisoo thought it meant 2 laps around the track. But the coach corrected her coldly. "There's no I thought here. When I said 2 laps, I meant the course outside the school. You'll see red arrows marking the route that it's not hard to follow. But anyone who failed to return within an hour would be eliminated." Instantly, everyone's faces lit up with excitement. The coach turned to Jisoo. "You want to join the marathon club too? If you think you can't handle it, it's fine to quit now." But for Yukiel's sake, running back within an hour was nothing for Jisoo. An hour later, most of them had already returned. Except one that it's been more than an hour. "See? I knew she couldn't do it, that she's not cut out for sports at all." Meanwhile, the baseball coach called him over. "So, you left the baseball club and started the marathon club, huh?" The marathon coach immediately noticed his glove. "That glove of yours, how much did it cost?" He proudly replied, 5 million won, bought it at an auction. Suddenly, Jisoo walked up and puked right into that glove. The coach's face twisted in rage. "Until you pay back that 5 million, you'll work as a janitor in the baseball club for minimum wage." After Jisoo's father found out she was chasing idols, he cut off her allowance. And next month was Yukiel's concert. Before anyone could stop her, Jisoo turned and left. "It's time for me to repay my debt that I'm heading to the baseball club now." "Jisoo, run faster. Look at the time, you're still so slow. Pick up trash for an hour first, then sort it all by category. Everyone listen up. This is our new helper starting today in the baseball club. Jisoo, I'll post this contract on the bulletin board. And just so you know, this is a copy. Lose it and there'll be another waiting for you." After the coach dismissed everyone, Jin Sirong suddenly burst into laughter. "Was he laughing at me? That guy? Seriously?" He kept following behind her, chuckling every now and then. "Hey brother, I've got something to ask you. Why are you following me? You're really annoying. Are you doing this just to make fun of me?" Jin Sirong said he was just curious. What on earth did she do to owe that much money? Turned out, Jisoo had puked on the coach's favorite glove. "Wow Jisoo, you're kind of badass. Living so recklessly, it's kind of fun. Maybe I should mess up like that too. Don't you ever get bored? I'm jealous of you." "Jealous? Are you kidding me? Don't pour salt on my wound. I'm basically a slave now." "No really, I'll help you, that I'm sure it'll be fun." "Do I look like I'm having fun right now?" Just then someone called out to Jin Sirong, asking if he wanted to come train. He glanced at Jisoo, then tossed the trash bag aside. "Great. Forget what I said about helping her." The next second, Jisoo pinned him against the wall. "Only because you're Kim Haju's brother did I hold back. There's a limit to your jokes." Jin Sirong just smiled. "Then what should I do? I'm bored. Got anything more fun?" "Fun? Oh sure, getting punched." The students watching were all stunned. "Wait, is she dating Jin Sirong?" Then the coach suddenly barked. "Yoon Jisoo, no pay for you today." "Why only me? That's not fair." "Jin Sirong, you just wait and see." Meanwhile, inside the student council president's office, Jin Durong was furious. "Bae Sarah, if you don't want to get kicked out, put your clothes on and get to work. I can tolerate a lot of things, but not lazy, playful people like you. You're lucky your work's decent, or I'd already lost it." "Shut up. I'm at the best part. Don't bother me, Jin Durong. Why does this school always make seniors do all the work? The director calls it a privilege. What a joke." After finishing her chores, Bae Sarah suddenly lifted her shirt. "I'm going to sleep. Nobody stop me. Unbelievable. I just have to put up with her. Hey Jin Durong, look at this. Can friends even do this?" The girl kisses the guy once and suddenly he starts acting weird. Jin Durong smirked. "Oh, if you're that curious, why don't you try it yourself?" I can show you exactly what happens. Where did you even find this kind of manga? He grumbled. Anyway, I've told you 100 times, please put your clothes back on. This is seriously annoying. You've got the director watching you at home and you still can't behave here. We're in the student council office. Show some decency. You talk like you're perfect. We all live double lives. You think I don't get tired of your whining too? Suddenly, there was a knock at the door. I cancelled all my appointments today so I could rest. Jean Durong, did you invite someone? Jean Durong smiled faintly. Yeah, it should be Dwan. After what happened last time, Dwan made up his mind. This time he'd make the president fall for him. He spent days around campus gathering every bit of information he could about her. Even though he'd prepared thoroughly, sitting across from the president still made him tremble. When Bay Sarah handed him a glass of water, Dwan politely said, "It's okay, please don't trouble yourself, thank you." "You're really different from some people," the president said with a smile. "You speak well and you've got manners. That's because Senior Sarah's always taken care of me. I really respect both of you. And this one's for Senior Sarah." "Wow, you're thoughtful and considerate." The president smiled faintly. "Duh. You came to see me, didn't you? Then why are you looking everywhere else? You're making me feel a little hurt, you know. I really wanted to see you. Honestly, I was so excited I couldn't sleep last night." Bay Sarah gently patted his shoulder. "Don't be nervous." The tension in the room was almost suffocating. Dwan was so nervous he wanted to bolt for the door. "So, what did you bring me?" "I brought you some tea. It's an imported red tea, only available from overseas. And also a famous mystery novel. It's a limited edition, the price has skyrocketed. You can't even find the last copy at an auction. Last time you borrowed volume 4, but no library in the country has the final one anymore." After giving the president her gift, Dwan stepped out of the office and sighed. "What a shame. Hey, don't be so dramatic. People might think you're some overprotective father-in-law. Loving your sister's fine, but meddling in her love life, that's a bit much. Right, I mean that perfect guy actually likes Kim Ha-ju? He's handsome, smart, polite, athletic and even has great taste. Compared to him, Ha-ju can't even count properly. She walks weird and the only athletic thing about her is brute strength. Sure, her face is cute, but with that personality, even that charm's gone. She's basically a lovable idiot. Love decides your future and your life partner. There's no way a guy that perfect would like Kim Ha-ju, right? Oh well. I hereby declare he's officially my future brother-in-law. You're insane. Poor Dwan, getting caught by a lunatic like him. Oh right, Bay Sarah's bracelet. Pretty, isn't it? I just checked, it's real gold. Jealous? It is nice. You wear it every day, huh? Of course I do. Meanwhile, Ha-ju was staring at her drawing, realizing it hadn't improved at all. Ugh, drawing really isn't easy. But hey, it's still better than math. Then it hit her. The midterm exams were coming up. This is my chance to earn more allowance. Kim Durong will definitely take first place again, so forget that. I'll just aim for second. Losing to Kim Han-rong last time was humiliating. This time, no way, I'm gonna win and buy that thing I want. Just then a sheet of paper slipped off her desk. On it was a letter addressed to Ha-ju, a curse letter. The pink-haired girl looked furious. She'd often heard Yoon Jisoo talk about Kim Ha-ju and she was curious. What kind of person was this girl? Jisoo said she's shy and kinda cold. She doesn't like talking to people. If I joke around with her, she immediately frowns and even snaps at me. But that's what makes her reactions so funny. Honestly, she's my best friend. Hey Jisoo, can you introduce me to her? She yells at you every day. She must be a bad kid. I have to meet her. And if she really is bad, I won't forgive her. Jisoo pictured what it would look like if Ha-ju and her met face to face. Absolutely not. Wait, why are you crying? It's time for marathon club practice. I've got to go. Eat a little more first, do Hannah. In truth, Jisoo was Hannah's only friend. Hannah was quiet, introverted, and often misunderstood. When people asked for her number, they assumed she was just being cold or arrogant. Hannah could only cry quietly to herself. It's all just a misunderstanding. Later, when Jisoo saw Hannah again, she immediately shouted, "Hey, why did you make her cry? You have to treat people differently depending on who they are." "We didn't. We just asked for her number and said she's pretty. She didn't say a word. How are we supposed to know she's shy? She's just shy and introverted. That's why she doesn't talk much. Spend a little time with people like that and you'll understand. She gets me. And every single day Jisoo would mention the same name. That girl, Kim Haju. Who is she really? Jisoo won't even introduce her. If she's bad news, that could be a disaster. Lost in thought, she suddenly found herself standing right in front of Dwan. Appa, why are you staring off like that? Don't tell me you like someone? It's not like that. But the moment someone shouted Kim Haju, Dwan's face turned bright red. I knew it. You're dating a girl named Haju, aren't you? The next second, Dwan suddenly burst into tears. No way. My brother got dumped by Kim Haju? Furious, Hana immediately wrote Haju a curse letter. To her brother was flawless. So that's why I hate Kim Haju. She made my brother cry. My brother might be gentle, soft, and too kind for his own good, but I'm not. Kim Haju, you'd better watch out. The letter read. From now on, mosquitoes will bite you while you sleep. A big red pimple will grow on your face, and even if you don't fall, you'll always embarrass yourself in public. She gritted her teeth as she sealed it, only to see Haju standing silently in place for a long time. Did I go too far? I added so many heart stickers to make it look cute. Maybe I should go apologize and rewrite it? But Haju didn't seem affected at all. Just then a sudden gust of wind blew through, messing up Hana's hair. And with that wind came Kim Han-rong, along with his beloved doll. Kim Han-rong didn't know when it started, but somehow he could always see her. Whether in class, down the hallway, or on the field, her figure seemed to appear everywhere. Maybe, when you like someone too much, you start seeing illusions. That sounds more believable. Yeah, I must be too obsessed. That's why I keep seeing her. But now, standing right before him, was the real person. Han-rong stepped forward and gently asked for her name. His gaze burned like a predator locking onto its prey. Hana trembled in fear, tears slipping down her cheeks. Hey, what's wrong? Are you sick? Why are you shaking like that? Turns out she was just scared. Han-rong thought about it and realized, yeah, maybe his expression was a bit much. So, are you in any clubs? Hana shook her head. Perfect. Then why not join the gardening club? I'll treat you well. No one could believe it. Kim Han-rong, the guy who only cared about animals, was actually inviting a girl to his club. Hana's cheeks flushed red. No way. My brother said if a handsome guy tells me he'll treat me well, it's definitely a trap. But Han-rong simply asked, oh, who's your brother? And that alone was enough to make Hana tear up again. Haju also spotted them from a distance. Unbelievable. She looks exactly like a character from a manga. Even Kim Han-rong couldn't take his eyes off her. But then Haju suddenly realized, what if she ran into Senior Dwan here? That thought alone was terrifying. Let's think about Kim Han-rong. Sure, his face is a plus, he looks gloomy all the time, but he really treasures the things he likes. If those two actually got together, forget Dwan. No other guy would even dare go near her. But the problem is, once he's obsessed with something, he shuts out the whole world. He's possessive to the point of madness. A total psycho. Ugh. His only good trait is his face. Still, for me, that might actually make him the best option. Not that I have a choice. Haju gently took Hana's hand. If you stay with that brother, you'll get to eat lots of good food and plenty of desserts too. Even though she let Hana go, Haju didn't feel good about it. How could she just walk off with that lunatic so easily? I was only joking, and she actually believed me. She's way too naive. Meanwhile, Hana noticed that those people didn't follow her this time. Whenever they show up, they scream and run away. It makes me so anxious and scared. Is this senior really the pervert everyone says he is? Everyone else runs from him, but he just helped me chase those people away. If I were alone right now, I'd probably be too shy to move, just standing there like a total fool. Kim Han-rong ran into Hana at school. Just as he was about to take her to the gardening club, Dwan rushed over with a group of people shouting, Nana-chan. Wait a second. Haju never expected them to meet this soon. We can't hand Nana-chan over to that creep. Come this way, we need to talk. Han-rong, still calm, patiently asked Hana what she wanted. After hearing her answer, he turned back and shouted, she said there's nothing to talk about. Want to talk to me instead? Dwan froze, then collapsed. You're scared of him. That's normal. We're scared too. Damn it, that guy's the villain. Nana-chan's been captured by the enemy. We need to save her. They each grab sketchbooks. Nana-chan will do it this time. For real. We'll draw your portrait. Haju, watching nearby, was completely dumbfounded. Fine. But just this once, don't tell anyone, okay? I'll be embarrassed. Of course not. We're not creeps. We just need a bit of inspiration for our art studies. If you're lying, then talk to me face to face. As Dwan started giving Hannah advice about posing, Hanrong glared at them, his tone icy. You'd better keep your eyes on your own sketches. But when a breeze lifted Hannah's hair, Hanrong's face suddenly flushed red. No. That look. Too dangerous. Kim Hanrong, you pervert. This is my biggest mistake ever. I can't believe I pushed such a pure girl straight into that maniac's arms. No matter how much he likes her, I shouldn't have done that. Then in a fleeting moment their eyes met, Hannah and Haju. One day, Haju whispered, I'll save you from him. In the student council office, Bae Sarah was still fixing the curtains. She patted the president's shoulder. Jean Durong, stop spacing out and come help me. Whoa, what happened to your face? Pie face. Other than being handsome, what could possibly be wrong with it? Anyone who sees that zombie look would think you're on your deathbed. What's up with you? Been busy lately? The timing's perfect. We should finally expose the director for making third years do all the labor. Forget it. Suddenly Jean Durong stood up. I can't keep quiet anymore. Before that model student brat, Kim Haju, gets stolen away, I'll drag him back myself. Poor Dwan. Why did he have to end up being targeted by Jean Durong? What on earth about him made the president so obsessed? Anyway, the student council's short on staff. Senior, aren't you going to work? If it were anyone else, the president would have kicked them out, or even made them transfer. But honestly, for anyone caught in Jean Durong's sights, transferring schools might be the safest choice. He's basically the school's puppet master. I'm saying this as a friend. According to the intel Jean Durong received, Kim Haju was right here. Good. That means he's somewhere in this building. Being hunted by a lunatic like Jean Durong. Terrifying. He'll strip you down to the bone. Wait, there he is. Meanwhile, Haju sat staring blankly at her test paper. So much for online classes. No matter how hard I try, I still can't understand a word the teacher says. If Jean Durong ever tried to teach me, I'd rather just give up right now. Suddenly, Dwan walked over and handed Haju a drink. Here, have something before you study. I came to grab a book and to ask you something. Do you have time to come over to my place this week? Just as he asked, he accidentally caught sight of her test paper. Haju saw how seriously he was staring and almost wanted to kill him. Dwan quickly waved his hands. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to peek, it was right in front of me. I'm not great at English either, but I'm good at math. That if there's anything you don't understand, I can teach you. If you're teaching me art and helping me study, when do you even have time to rest? Your time's valuable too, isn't it? Spending time with you never feels like a waste, so please don't feel guilty. I'm doing this because I want to. Dwan patiently explained each problem to her. Haju didn't really understand much, but she realized, Senior, you're not just smart, you're a great teacher. He smiled, you're flattering me. No one's great from the start. That I struggled a lot at first too. Liar, you're just like Jean Durong, the top student in the grade, right? Dwan shook his head. The top spot belongs to someone else in my class. I'm second. Haju thought, I knew it, he's bluffing again. There's been someone holding first place since freshman year, never once slipping. Maybe that person's just one of those flawless people who are always perfect. In the student council room, the curtains had just been installed. Bae Sarah hadn't done a thing but was already taking credit, only to be called out by her younger brother. She even got caught gossiping behind his back. Poor President Durong, having to work with this airhead big sister every day. Meanwhile, Dwan was still thinking about inviting Haju to his house. Out of nowhere, the president asked, Dwan, do you like it? He instinctively replied, yes, I really like it. Then it hit him. Oh no, he was doomed. I meant the book, Dwan. I like that one too. Seems like we have the same taste, huh? So, how about joining the student council? I'll take good care of you. Whatever you want, I'll make it happen. Sounds like a great deal, doesn't it? Thank you for the offer, but I'd rather stay in the manga club, that there's something important I'm determined to finish. The president smiled faintly. Determined, huh? Funny, I feel the exact same way. Back in the manga club room, Dwan was trembling all over. President, what's wrong? Emergency. This month's manga club budget got cut to 1/4 of what it used to be. Are we getting disbanded? Who ticked off the student council this time? Hearing that, Dwan's body shook even harder. Just as he was about to go confront the council, he learned the terrifying truth. The president's brother was the notorious villain himself. While he was hesitating, Haju rushed in. I won't let that happen. Do you know how hard I worked to form this club? It took me forever to gather all these otaku. Dwan didn't want Haju to face the president alone. So Dwan immediately took all the blame himself. I can't let Haju and the president's brother get into a fight. Just as he was about to leave, Haju called out, I'm sorry, senpai, that it's all Jin Durong's fault. He cut our manga club's budget without asking anyone, and now you're working so hard because of it. Let me go talk to him and get our funding back. But Dwan smiled confidently. It's okay, that I'll earn the money myself soon. If you're curious, why don't you come watch? To save the manga club, Dwan came up with an idea, selling his drawings to raise funds. Of course, it's not easy, that we'll need to price them slightly above the lowest standard if we want to make a profit. Each drawing will take about 15 minutes. If we sell to students, it can't be too expensive. This price should be perfect. At first, the place went silent, but Dwan believed someone would show up soon. Sure enough, before long, a loud cheer echoed through the room. Haju looked skeptical. Are you sure they're lining up because they actually want your art? Doesn't matter. As long as we make money and save the manga club, that's all that counts. The commotion got so loud it reached the student council office. Jin Durong sat there in silence. The image of Dwan rejecting him kept replaying in his mind. Back then he'd offered a trade, 100 pieces of information about Kim Haju. But Dwan had refused, that he didn't want to know her through manipulation. I know Haju doesn't really like me. They say the one who falls first is the one who loses. If I treat Haju a little better, if she gets to know me, maybe she'll open up, that I'll work toward that. Jin Durong stared at Dwan for a long moment. Go on, leave, that you're too kind, that it makes me lose interest in you. The president was about to walk away when he suddenly wilted and collapsed to the side. There's been too much on my plate lately. I'm tired. You don't need to worry about me. Dwan stood frozen for a long time. When the president thought he might change his mind, Dwan said, It's about my name. My name is Dwan, not Duo. You've been calling me the wrong name. It turned out Duo was his father's name. Who would have guessed the president had been calling him by his dad's name all this time? Bei Sarah couldn't hold back. Cutting the manga club's budget was petty. The president had wanted to disband the club outright, but he held back. Not bad. People need to know when to let go, that if you can give up, you've got some humanity left. Then the president smiled slightly. You think I'll give up after one rejection? No way. Don't you know I'm the type who won't stop until I get what I want? Last time I let him off because I felt sorry for him. Bei Sarah kept a calm face, at least at first. Then she suddenly shouted, Run. That guy's a pervert. Dwan seemed to hear someone calling, but when he looked back there was no one there. The president clamped a hand over Sarah's mouth. Are you insane? I was only trying to warn the innocent junior being targeted by a pervert. Don't spout nonsense here. Let me remind you. If you interfere with me, you'll learn exactly what happens when you cross me. In the student council office, Bei Sarah's brother, Ju Siyun, was still sipping tea comfortably. The president smirked darkly. That's my most precious tea, you know. Wait, what? It was just sitting out there, so I figured I'd brew it. Jin Durong chuckled coldly. No wonder it tasted strange. Siyun, how's the tea? It was a gift from someone. I've never even tasted it myself. They say it's imported from overseas. Hearing that, Siyun's eyes welled up. President, what exactly do you want from me? You're pretty observant, Durong said casually. No wonder you're top of the class. Easy to command. I was just worried you might drink the wrong thing and meet with an accident. Anyway, go now that you're running out of time. Following orders, Siyun took the money and headed to Dwan's booth. Learning that Dwan was still taking commissions, he quickly asked him to draw a portrait. As he watched Dwan's sketch, Siyun couldn't help but think, Even as a guy, I've got to admit, he's really good looking. Of course, still not quite as handsome as me. The drawing was done quickly. Dwan, your art skills are seriously impressive, Siyun said. Sorry to bother you so late, but could you draw one more for me? Would you make a portrait of President Jean Durong too? As soon as Dwan agreed, Siyun put on his act. That's great. Actually, President Jean Durong hasn't been feeling well lately that he's been stuck in the council office these past few days. He's been working non-stop for the school and the students, and finally collapsed from exhaustion. I've never seen him push himself like that. He's just so responsible. Even when he's sick, he keeps working. If someone could stay by his side and help him out, maybe it'd ease both his body and his mind. Hearing that, Dwan recalled how pale the president had looked that day, and guilt began to weigh on him. As Siyun walked away, his expression was solemn and heavy. But once he turned the corner, he wiped his face and smirked. My acting is flawless. For simple, kind people like him, this trick works every time. Originally, the president thought that since Dwan liked Haju, sending someone who resembled her would easily lure him in. But clearly, Dwan wasn't the type to fall for looks. Then Siyun ran right into Haju at the corner. He completely ignored him. Worried she might have seen his little act, he turned on the charm, hoping to keep her quiet. But Haju stepped up and snapped, "Stop pretending like you know everything. Get lost." Meanwhile, the president checked his watch. He should be here any minute now. Sure enough, Dwan pushed open the student council door. Inside, Jean Durong was collapsed on the couch, looking deathly pale. Siyun's words kept echoing in Dwan's mind, over and over again. When Dwan greeted him, Jean Durong responded perfectly. Neither too cold nor too friendly, just the right balance. Dwan suddenly said, "Let me help you with student council work. But on one condition. I won't quit the manga club. That if you don't agree, then I'm not joining." The president smiled faintly at that. He quickly stood up. "Of course, that's fine. See you tomorrow, Dwan." But once Dwan left, Jean Durong collapsed onto the couch for real. Turns out sleeping only 3 hours a day was finally taking its toll. When he opened his eyes again, he had no idea how long he'd been out. There was now a note on the desk. "Jean Durong, no wonder you were wobbling around. I knew this would happen. You can't get sick. You still have to help me work. Eat these and get up soon, my slave." Durong chuckled softly. "I told people I was faking being sick, but no one knew I actually was." Though Bae Sarah dropped off some food, she couldn't shake a chill. Where the hell did Ju Seung run off to this time? Meanwhile, Kim Si-rong had gotten himself into big trouble. He'd completely pissed off Yoon Jisoo. Jisoo immediately came up with a plan to get back at him. Whether it was dirtying his clothes or splashing water on his face, he didn't get mad. Instead, he smiled at her. Furious, Jisoo stormed off to complain to Haju. Haju sighed. "It's because of what you did that he's acting like this now." Ever since he was a kid, Kim Si-rong had this weird people addiction. If no one paid attention to him, it was like torture. The only ways to deal with him were to smack the back of his head and run, or ignore him completely. Hearing this, Yoon Jisoo's eyes lit up. "Then I'll mess with him properly this time. You used my Yeochul limited edition collector's item as a pot stand. I'll never forgive you." When Kim Si-rong saw Jisoo, his eyes sparkled like fireworks. He started running toward her, excited. But Jisoo just rolled her eyes and walked away. Si-rong froze, confused. The next time they crossed paths, she turned on her heel and left without a word. He couldn't take it anymore. "Why are you ignoring me? Can we talk, please?" But Jisoo didn't even glance back. The rejection hit him harder than he expected. "Why won't she play with me anymore? Teasing her was the most fun part of my day." While sulking, he spotted 2 classmates fighting over something. When he looked closer, he recognized what it was. Wait, could this be about that time I used her collector's item as a pot stand? He carefully stepped closer and asked, "Hey, is that thing expensive?" One of them replied, "It's an unreleased limited edition item. At current market value, it's worth about 400,000 won." To make it up to Yoon Jisoo, Kim Si-rong swore he'd find a way to earn all 400,000 won, no matter what. His first part-time job started at home. "Anyone got chores they hate doing? For 5,000 won, I'll do anything for you." Haju smirked darkly. "Then go pick up dog poop." And Si-rong actually took it seriously, while Haju had just been joking. He turned to his second brother next. I'm useful. You can make me do anything. Jean Durong glanced back and said calmly, then come to the student council today. He tossed Sirong 5,001 without another word. That afternoon Sirong showed up right on time. Why are you just standing there? I got the tools ready for you. Clean everything, from the ceiling to the furniture. The size of the room shouldn't bother you, right? You said you'd do anything. If not, fine. Just give me my 5,001 back. Fired up like a man possessed, Sirong grabbed the cleaning tools and got to work. He hummed a cheerful tune as he wiped. But then, slap! The rag flew right into the president's face. And just as that happened, Bei Sarah walked in, freezing on the spot, completely dumbfounded. Even though Kim Sirong swore 100 times, it was an accident, I swear. The president remained cold. Or maybe you pretended it was an accident, so you could throw it at my head on purpose. And tell me, why were you swinging the rag around while cleaning the windows? Sirong looked utterly wrong. He's a demon. A total pervert. But since he'd taken the money, he could only grit his teeth and bear it. Leaving the building, he spotted his older brother, Kim Honrong, outside, feeding a stray kitten. Sirong's eyes sparkled and he ran over. He tried to help feed the cat, but the moment he opened the food bag, the kitten launched itself at him, smacking him straight in the face. What the hell? I didn't even feed it yet and I'm already getting punched by a cat. Still fretting about how to earn that 400,001, he suddenly spotted Haju. He ran up eagerly. Haju, don't you have anything you want me to do? Please, order me around as much as you want. Haju just frowned, handed him 5,001 and said, get lost. Sirong blinked, then grinned. She's such an idiot. Paid me for doing nothing. Then it hit him. Wait, who said I can only work at home? If I'm lucky, I'll earn the money for that photo in no time. Meanwhile, Jisu's friends were teasing her. You're so lucky, getting to see Kim Sirong every day in the baseball club. Jisu exploded. Lucky? You call that lucky? Are you trying to piss me off?